Please welcome Eddie, Ifft.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming out. I appreciate it. I like a packed place. I like a lot of people, so this is good. I look like a guy that just had his skateboard stolen. And I'm way too old to chase the guy that took it. The worst part of that is my wife styles people for a living. That's what she does. She styles. You're looking at me like, wow. You're like, I guess she doesn't bring her work home with her. And other people are like, this guy has a wife? Yeah, I have a wife. I didn't want one. I didn't. No, I love her, but I didn't want to be married. She tricked me. That's what all women do. Men don't trick women. Women trick men. And it's not because you want to be married. It's because you want a wedding. Yeah, that's the whole part. Yeah, we don't all. I've never heard one man in my life go, I dream about the tuxedo I'm going to wear on my wedding day. The boys are coming over. We're going to drink some beers and read Groom magazine and pick out our cummerbunds. That's yours. That is your day. Weddings are not for us. That is only for you. We don't even get to walk down the aisle. You're like, you go stand up there with your friends, don't touch anything, and shut the fuck up. And watch me walk down the aisle and look more beautiful than I've ever looked in my life. Yeah. Because let's face it, all a wedding is, it's just a beauty pageant with one contestant. Yeah, you get your 5 ugliest friends to be your bridesmaids. You dress them in shit brown or puke green. You're feeding them for 6 months. Meanwhile, you're at an underground CrossFit Pilates laboratory training, like shredding for the wedding. For that day. That day is your day. And you do. You look beautiful. You look gorgeous. I have been to a lot of weddings, and I have a lot of ugly friends. I have never seen an ugly bride ever in my life. You look beautiful. Like that music starts, and every head in the church just turns around and looks. And she comes out, and everybody's like, oh my God. And I'm like, if I knew she could have looked like that, I would have tried to fuck her. No one ever goes, look at that groom. Look at how handsome he looks. Because he doesn't. He looks like shit. If you ever looked at the groom, he looks like shit because he's been drinking for 6 weeks. With the other 4 idiots up there with him, just like, Just every 15 minutes going, one vagina for the rest of your life. One vagina for the rest of your life. Yeah. Because it's true. It's one vagina for the rest of your life. Why do we do this? It's monogamy. I don't. It's not natural. It's not fun. Like, be honest. It's like fishing in a pond with one fish. You're like, oh, look what I caught. It's you again. All right, see you tomorrow. Oh, gotcha again. Yay! After 3 days of that, you're putting a schoolgirl dress on the fish. You're putting a ball gag in the gill. You're inviting your neighbor over to watch you fish. Maybe you let him fish a little. And I didn't realize, like, when you get into a serious relationship, you got to go monogamous cold turkey. Yeah, like, I found that out. You can't wean off of it. It's not like another vice. Vagina is not like cigarettes. You can't be like, I'm down to 3 vaginas a week. There's no patch for that. You can't be like, oh, I was craving some extracurricular pussy. Thank God I have the clitoris patch. There is no, well, I'm not going to say no, but there's really, like people always say, like there's really no monogamous species. You know, everybody always says the penguins. The only monogamous species in the world, truly, is, I've read this, it's called the diploon protozoa. And it's a tapeworm that lives in the stomach of a fish. And the only reason it's monogamous is because when it has sex, when it connects, it becomes one, like it's connected for the rest of its life. Yeah, I know. Can you imagine that? You're like, oh, I want to get in there, but... And then, for the rest of your life. But they still retain their testes and ovaries, yeah. And I read on this website, underneath in the comments, a woman said, isn't it beautiful? Even in their unification, they still retain their own identities. And underneath, some guy wrote, if that was me, I'd kill her to kill myself. I've been married for a long time. I've been married for 5 years. I thought it was going to be like college, and I was going to get kicked out in 2. And now I realize I just go to one of those shitty schools. It doesn't matter. They don't care how I do. They just want my money. I don't wear a ring, though, and people think that means I cheat. I don't wear a ring, true story, because I don't cheat. I love my wife. I don't cheat on her, not because I love her. I don't cheat on her because I'm afraid of her. And I asked her if I could. I said, hypothetically, if I ever cheated on you, would you leave me? And she said, no. I was like, really? You wouldn't leave me? She goes, nope. I go, you love me that much? She goes, not at all. I go, but you wouldn't leave me. She goes, nope. I go, how come? She goes, because I just slit your throat while you're sleeping. That's not funny. There wasn't supposed to be a laugh there. That's not funny. I live with this woman. I sleep in the same bed with her. I don't even kiss her goodnight anymore. I get in bed with her every night. I look her right in the eyes. I'm like, we're good, right? I sleep with a catcher's mask and a throat protector because I don't know if she has my Facebook password. But I don't wear the ring, and it's not because of cheating. I don't wear the ring because I'm like claustrophobic, and no, wait, claustrophobic. It's not just a fear of confined spaces. It's also a fear of constricting objects that restrict your freedom and don't allow you to hang out with your friends late at night. So I have this terrible fear of it. I didn't even want to get a ring. My wife's like, you have to. My parents really are going to want you to wear a ring. So I went to get the ring, and when I got it, the jeweler, I said, hey, I'm really claustrophobic, and I'm afraid it's going to get stuck. Can you give me a big one? So he put it on, and I went like this, and it shot across the room. And he was like, you're going to pay for that. And then he gave me another one that was much smaller, and when it went on, it got stuck. Yeah, and I had a panic attack in the jewelry store. And I don't know if you ever had a panic attack before, but your whole body gets hot. And I didn't know what to do, so I just looked at him and I went, get it off! And he looked at my wife and said, he's not ready to be married. So people go, why'd you get married? Because she has a father. And he's terrifying. I swear to God, her father's a big dude, like big and scary, like he's huge. Like when he played football in the NFL, he played for the Philadelphia Eagles, he played center. Yeah, and when he stands next to me, we look like one of those Russian nesting dolls. Like it looks like he cracked open and I popped out. And there were 3 in between us. Like I'm the doll that doesn't break open anymore. He's terrifying. Like right when I first met him, he was in trouble. My wife had told me he got in trouble because he went to jail. because he knocked out a bouncer. He's 65. He knocked out a bouncer. I asked him why, and he said because he got in the way of the bouncer he wanted to knock out. I said, why did you want to knock him out? And he said, because he stared at me, and I have not looked at him since. Like, this guy's terrifying, and he literally, this is why we got married. He took me in the woods to chop wood one day. Well, he chopped wood. I have soft hands. And while chopping wood, he looked at me and said, Eddie, what are your intentions with my daughter? And the comedian in me so badly wanted to say, anal. Yeah. But I didn't say that because he had an axe and he's huge and I'm a coward. So I said, well, sir, I love your daughter and I want to spend the rest of my life with her and maybe have children. And he goes, and get married. I said, well, we're not really religious or into rules. He goes, you're getting married. And I said, we're going to kind of do the hippie thing. He goes, you're getting married. And I was like, so we just wanted to know where you want us to get married and what day. He and I walked home and we go to the house and my wife's sitting there and I think she was in on this. Because she just looked at me with this weird smile, and she goes, how was your walk with Dad? and I got on my knee, and I said, just say yes. And she goes, what are you doing? I go, he's got a fucking axe. Yeah. This is not a joke. This is a cry for help. I'm locked in. She got me with the marriage, then the house. They get you with the house, right? My wife bought a house while I was out of town. I was on tour, and I got a call. She goes, guess what? I have a surprise for you. And I said, anal? And she was like, no. And I'm like, anal with someone else. And you got to stop. She goes, no, I bought us a house. And I was like, with what? And she's like, with your money. And I'm like, that's illegal. Like, no jury would find me guilty in a murder in this case. Like, she bought a house. I was like, how did this happen? And I was like, where? And she was like, Malibu. Yeah, I know. I know, you're all thinking Malibu's full of like $20 million mansions and a crack house. Guess which one I live in? I went to see it. I went to see my house. She picked me up at the airport when I came home and goes, come on, I'm going to take you to your house. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And she goes, it's a fixer-upper. And I was like, who's going to fix her upper? And what are they going to do it with? We have no money left. And she was like, oh, it's easy. You just watch YouTube and then you go to Home Depot. She goes, they'll help you at Home Depot. Okay, that's the first problem with this equation right here. Because no one will ever help you at Home Depot. Have you ever tried to get help at Home Depot? Oh my God, I go in, I lie on the ground and pretend I'm having a heart attack. Just to see if I could get anyone to help me. Never, no one comes to my help. No one, I'm dying. Finally somebody like, what's wrong? I'm like, where are the hex bolts? No, seriously. I'm convinced that all Home Depot is, it's a charitable endeavor to let elderly people think they still have a purpose in life. No, don't all. They give them these orange aprons, and they're like, here, just stand here. People are going to ask you questions. They're going to want to know the location of something. Just yell out a bingo number. Just yell it out. Just yell out a bingo number, and then they're gonna go looking for it. You yell out B6, and they'll be like, okay. And then as soon as they leave, you fucking run as quick as you can and go the other way, because they're gonna try to find you again. And you're gonna have to, there's a maze you're gonna have to go through in Home Depot. Get to the door section as fast as you can. One of those doors, the third one on the left, is actually a real door. Open it. There's a stairway that goes down to the basement. The rest of the employees will be down there playing poker. Nobody wants to work at Home Depot. Nobody. And the ironic thing is all the guys in the parking lot really want to work. Yeah. Wow, some Republicans here. No, we really did buy this house up in Malibu. It's not Malibu. It's up in the mountains above Malibu. It's kind of like Malibama. It's not really Malibu. It's Malibama, and it's weird. It's filled with the two strangest groups of people in the world. You've got the crunchiest, most tree-hugging, bleeding heart liberals living right next to gun-toting rednecks. Yeah, and it's just, and I'm neither. I'm a moderate. Like I am neither of these people. I'm not against guns. I'm not for guns. Like I don't own a gun, because I pepper sprayed myself twice. So I'm like, I can't own a gun. But I'm not against guns. Like I believe in smart gun laws, but I'm not like, yay, we should all have bazookas. But I'm not against guns too. And I think the liberals that fight against the guns, like I hear you, and I think your argument is so logical, but it's futile. Like you gotta stop. Like I know you think you're right, but you're gonna lose your argument. Because I don't know if you realize this, liberals, you're fighting with a group of people that have guns. Yeah, you can hear them yee-hawing right now. Yeah. Like, when you keep arguing, I'm like, you need to stop arguing and read some history, because I don't think you understand how this country was founded. A bunch of people came here with guns, killed the people that didn't have guns, stole their country, and then wrote a constitution that said, I'm keeping my fucking guns. Now you can keep up your fight, and I'll come visit you someday on your reservation. I'd be like, hey, we going to the liberal casino tonight? No, but I honestly, I'm a moderate. Like sometimes I'm liberal, sometimes I'm conservative. And I think we're all liberal. I think we're all liberal when we're poor, Because when you're poor, you're like, hey, everybody should share. But as soon as you make a lot of money, you're like, fuck them, you gotta work for this shit. And I only know this because I fly a lot. I go on tour a lot, I fly, so I get upgraded all the time. And I'm a liberal when I'm in coach. But you upgrade me, shit changes. When I find out I'm getting that upgrade, I put my Burger King crown right on. I get on first so I can watch everyone walk past me. Oh my God. I could watch an old lady come on with a walker and oxygen, and I'd be like, to the back with you, peasant. If she gets eye contact with me, I'm just like, poor. But like, I live up in this area with really liberal people and really conservative people, and it's weird. It's really weird because we have next door. Do you know Do you know what Nextdoor is? Nextdoor is an app. It's kind of like Facebook, but with just your neighbors. If you thought Facebook was a bad idea, try Nextdoor. Oh my God, Facebook, you fight with people you'll never see again. Nextdoor, you fight with them, the next day you're getting your mail and you're like, well, hello, Louise. So apparently I keep my lights on too late while nobody in the neighborhood likes your above ground pool. We had a neighbor post on Nextdoor. We had a neighbor post on Nextdoor and say, oh my God, there's a rattlesnake out by my pool. I don't know what to do. I have children. And the first post back was a neighbor going, I'll get my gun and be right down. And then the next neighbor's like, don't you dare. We decided to live in their ecosystem. And then that guy wrote, loading the gun. And yeah, and then the next message was like another liberal going, no, you don't dare shoot those snakes. That's what the firemen are for. The firemen come over and they will scoot the snake into a bag and take it out into the wilderness and let it be free. And then somebody wrote back, that's not what the firemen are for. And I was so getting into this, and it stopped for a while. And then like 2 hours later, the woman that originally posted back, she goes, I want to thank all the neighbors. I did what you said, I contacted the firemen. And they came over and chopped its head off with a shovel. Yeah. I'm glad you're clapping. I had to deal with my wife then, who didn't know we had rattlesnakes. They have rattlesnake aversion training. The vet told me, he goes, it happens one day a year. They have it in an undisclosed location. They'll notify you the day before where you have to be. I'm not lying about any of this. I swear to God, they have rattlesnake aversion training. You go to a place in the middle of the woods, and they train your dogs to stay. And I have 2 dogs, and I took my dogs to this rattlesnake aversion training, and the first thing they did, they took my dog's collar off and put another collar on with one of those electric boxes on it. Yeah. Hey. I know. It was like one of those electric fence collars, but it kind of had a car battery on it. Like it was huge. And the guy goes to me, the rattlesnake wrangler, that's what he called himself, goes, all right, now, what you're going to do is you're going to take your dog into the rattlesnake arena. He called it an arena. You're going to take your dog into the rattlesnake arena, and when your dog goes to the rattlesnake, I got a remote control here, and I'm going to hit him with like 25 volts of electricity, and bam, I'll hit him, and boom, your dog will never go near a snake again. And I was like, this isn't happening. And he goes, why not? I'm like, because I'm not going in there. And he's like, why not? I'm like, because I don't have one of those collars on my neck. And he goes, you don't have to worry. And I said, why not? And he said, you'll see. Most people would have left. But I'm a comedian, and I need material. So I had to see why I would be safe in the rattlesnake arena. So I took my dog into the arena, and I was totally safe. You know why? The rattlesnakes were wearing helmets. I'm not making this shit up. I walked in, there were a whole bunch of rattlesnakes, and all of them had what looked like light bulbs on their heads, taped around, and the snakes were like, they weren't even rattling. They were just like, get this shit off me. And you guys are probably thinking, like, who put those on their heads? And I'm thinking, who makes those? That's your job. You go to work every day, and you make rattlesnake helmets. Imagine being at your high school reunion. What are you up to, Bob? Oh, I've just been making those rattlesnake helmets. Oh, I'm glad things are picking up for you. So the guy goes to me, he goes, take your dog over to the snake. And he goes, that's what I'm going to get. I'll hit him. And I was like, all right. So I walk my dog over to the snake. My dog goes to attack it, like bam. And he goes, bam! bam! Like he said that while he did it. He goes, bam! And my dog jumped higher than I've ever seen a dog jump. And while it was in the air, I was thinking, shit, we need to do this with our Olympians. Like, this is how we should train the Lakers. Just like, they're running down the court, they go up for a rebound, bam! Get them! And the dog just comes running back like, tail between its legs, and he goes, now take him back, I gotta hit him again. And I was like, no, he got it. You don't need to take him back. And he goes, no. The way their brain works, they gotta get a second time in them. I was like, do you see the dog shivering like, I think he got it. And he goes, I gotta hit him again. I'm like, fuck off. So I take my dog out, because I gotta bring my second dog in. And I never realized, dogs have like mental telepathy. Like they can communicate without barking, without anything. Because as I walk the dog out, I look at the other dog who wasn't even around the arena, and the other dog's like, no, I'm not fucking going in there. Like the other dog was like, run away. You don't want to go in there. You know, that's the worst place in the world. Yeah, so it works though. I gotta be honest, it does work. Like my dogs do not attack rattlesnakes, but that's just because they're in the corner of my house drooling. From the lobotomy that they got. Yeah, I got a kid. I have two, but one I like. And no, I mean I like the new one too, but it's kind of a blob. It's only like 4 months old. It's like, they're not like they're not people yet. And but yeah, like my other kid is great. I love my kid, and I love them both. But you have to say that. But I do. I love them now. I didn't love them when I first had them. I think it's weird when people love kids when they first have them. Like people are like, the first day the baby comes. You don't know that baby. It's so weird to me that people love. You don't know that baby. That's a stranger. The doctor tried to give me the baby. I was like, stranger danger. Yeah. Like, no, I don't. I'll get to know it, you know? But I love them now. I do. We wanted kids. Like we tried to make our kids, which is weird because my whole life I was trying not to make kids. And that's weird because then when my wife gave me the go-ahead, my dick was like, don't trust her. Like my dick would pull out on its own. It was like, I'm an outside cat, not an inside cat. And then I would accidentally jizz on her leg, and she'd turn into the sperm Nazi. She'd be like, what the fuck is this? This goes in here! I was amazed. I was amazed at the affinity my wife had for jizz when she wanted to get pregnant. Because when she didn't want to get pregnant, oh my God, it was like kryptonite, and she was Superman. She'd be like, get it off! Oh, it burns. As soon as she wanted to get pregnant, she's like, get it in me! She'd be upside down in a yoga position, bouncing, get it in! Plunge it! I'd be on top of her like I was pumping a keg, trying to keep it all in. Don't let it leak out, all right? I'm trying to stop it. She wanted to get pregnant so badly. My wife wanted to get pregnant so badly, she had an app on her phone that would say when she was fertile. An alarm would go off telling her when we had to have sex. I used to love to have sex. Until I had to have sex. You know what it's called when you have to have sex? Rape. My wife had a rape app on her phone. That's not what it's called. Don't go to the app store and try to get that. That's not what it's called, but that's what it was. Because I would be in the house, I didn't even know she was home till I'd hear the alarm go off. And it was set to the most ominous sound on the iPhone, the foghorn ringtone. I'd be like on my phone playing or something, and I would hear, wah, wah. I'd be like, no. And I'd hear her from the bedroom. She'd be like, get in here. And I would go in, she would just kick me on the ground, get over me, and just vacuum it right out of me. We just had a boy. Yeah, I wanted a boy. Until about 6 months into pregnancy, my wife looked at me and she goes, you know what's weird? You have a penis. And now I have a penis. I was like, and now I'm not having sex with you till that penis comes out of you. That's always been a policy of mine, you know? It's a one penis party for this guy. When I'm in there, I'm the only penis in there. And I know it's not the same, but it's still weird, and it's gonna be in my head when I'm having sex that my poor infant is inside her, and my giant penis comes in. Because every penis is giant to a baby. And the baby's in there, and bam, bam, I just start hitting them in the head, and then he's gonna have to wear a helmet because he's got flat head syndrome. And then everybody's gonna ask him, like, what happened to your head? And he's like, my dad's cock kept in there. Like, so we just cut the sex out. That was the end of that. Yeah. We had a girl first. Yeah, and I didn't want one. No, and don't judge me like that. People judge people for, here's the deal. I took psychology for a week in college. And the one thing I learned, they say that humans innately want what looks like them. So men want a boy and women want a girl. And it's just natural. And that's why we have to stop the gender reveal parties. They need to stop right now. Don't have them, don't post them, don't go to them. They're a bad idea. If you don't know what I'm talking about, a gender reveal party is a party where you do not know the sex of your child yet. You invite your friends and family members over, and you find out as a surprise in front of everybody. And that's a bad, bad, bad idea, because there's a winner and there's a loser. And if you're the loser, you have to put on an Academy Award-winning performance. Yeah, I know, because I had to. Yeah, you can't be honest. They can't announce the sex of the child, and you go, fuck! Fuck! God damn it! That's not what I wanted. You have to be like, you're happy, and it's so hard. You're like, oh my God. Oh yeah, I wanted a girl so bad. That's totally what I was I can't wait to play with Barbies and put on makeup and go to ballet. And when she's 15, little boys with pimples and boners are gonna come over and be like, hi, Mr. Ifft, I wanna fuck your daughter. It's not a party, it's a nightmare. Yeah, we had a cake. We had a cake that you cut into, and the cake had white icing on the outside, and then inside was either pink or blue. So it was a surprise. We cut in, and if it was pink, it was a girl, and blue, it's a boy. And my wife's whole family was hoping it was pink and it was a girl. And I was hoping it was chocolate. And I could leave. That's not racist. That is observational. That is, like, even her dad would have been like, you can go. I'm gonna have a talk with her. I know it's my daughter, though, because she has my level of energy. I'm a little hyperactive, and my daughter's gotten it times 10. She's got like the energy of the sun. But the only thing is, I have it at night. She has it at 5 a.m. My daughter wakes up. She doesn't just come to life like, oh. She wakes up like Michael Myers does. When he sits up in the horror film after he's been murdered, you know, they finally kill him, they bludgeon him like 50 times, and then he's like, ugh. That's how my daughter gets up in the morning. She just comes to life and just goes, Dad, 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 what are we doing? Let's go. And then I have to shoot her right in the neck with a tranquilizer gun. And I'm like, 2 more hours, 2 more hours. This kid's insane. She already got kicked out of school. She was 3. I didn't even know she went to school. When my wife told me, she's like, yeah, we got to go into the school. Izzy's in trouble. I'm like, where? She's like, she goes to school. I'm like, she's 3. What could she have done wrong? She's like, well, let's go see. Wait till you hear. I sat across from these teachers, and they go, we have a real problem with Izzy. And I go, what's the problem? They go, well, Mr. Ifft, your daughter thinks farts are really funny. And I go, that's my girl. She goes, it's not funny, Mr. Ifft. And I go, oh, yes, it is. I go, yeah, I don't know if my wife told you, but I'm a comedian for a living, kind of a connoisseur of comedy, and farts are like #1 on the lists. Followed by old ladies falling down a flight of steps, so you better watch yourself. She goes, it's not funny, Mr. Ifft. It's a real problem. And I go, how is this a problem? She goes, well, your daughter thinks farts are really funny, so all the other kids in school keep trying to make Izzy laugh. So the next thing she said is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life. She goes, so now we have a sharding epidemic in our school. You guys just giggled. I got a hernia. I've never laughed so hard in my life. I've never been so proud of my daughter. She caused the sharding epidemic of 2019 at Piper Preschool. The woman was crying. The teacher's like, it's not funny, Mr. Ifft. It's not funny. When I got this job, they told me I'd only wipe a couple buttholes. It's like 30 to 40 a day. These kids are shitting their pants like crazy. On the walk to the car, I was laughing so hard, my wife punched me in the back of the head. My daughter's 3. She had 4. I don't know how old she is, but she's got like my snarky attitude. I said to her one day, I go, hey, who's the best daddy in the world? And she goes, Mommy. cute, though. I was going to a show one night. She goes, where are you going? I said, I'm going to work. She goes, what do you do? And I go, I make people laugh. And she goes, you tickle people? And I go, yeah, but don't tell the cops. I'm in enough trouble. This kid already got me in trouble with the cops. I swear to you, I was trying to put her in her car seat one day in the grocery store parking lot. And I'm putting her in, and I'm trying to buckle her in, and she hates the car seat. She hates it because she believes in freedom. And I'm trying to, she's like, this is unconstitutional. And I'm trying to just get the buckle across, and she's almost out, so I've got her in a chokehold, and I've almost got her to tap. I'm like, oh, come on. I'm like, you're gonna go to sleep. And she like pulls like a BJJ move and slips out. And I had the armrest down beside her, and some cars, you know, they have that little hole that goes into the trunk. She shot through that hole like she was Viet Cong. Like that hole's like this big. I think she removed her jaw like a snake does when they eat their prey, because I don't know how she fit through, but she was in the trunk. And I'm like, you can't be in there, Izzy. You need to come out of the trunk. You're not, Izzy. Daddy cannot drive till you come. Daddy will go to jail. And I don't know if you know this, but I might not. I'm an average-looking guy, but in prison I'm pretty. And I'm not going to be the same daddy when I come home. So. You might want to get out of there right now. And then I'm like, why am I trying to have this conversation with the 3-year-old when I can walk around and just open the trunk from behind, which is funnier too, because I'm going to surprise the shit out of Izzy, who doesn't know how a car works. So I do it, I get behind, and I open it, and I don't surprise her, but I do surprise the family walking behind me in the parking lot, who see me open the trunk, and there's a 3-year-old sitting Indian style, just looking like, what just happened? And I hear this woman gasp and go, oh my God! And I think it's funny. I go, she's in timeout. You want to go there too? And I'm laughing, but the woman pulls out her phone and starts calling like 911, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta get out of here. She's gonna call Child Protective Services, so I slam the trunk on Izzy. And I gotta take off. Hey, don't judge me. I try to be a good father, I try. You know, because it's hard. Like, you look now, like, there was just another school shooting today. And, well, there wasn't, but I wrote this joke, and there usually is. I notice this every time there's one of these school shootings. Every time it happens, it's the same guys that do it every time. It's always a guy, and you see them, and they come on, and they always interview their parents. Have you ever noticed? They always interview their parents, and they go, did you know? Did you see a sign? Did you know this was going to happen? Did you see it? And they're like, we had no idea. The parents always are like, we didn't see it. We had no idea. You're like, have you looked at your kid? Because everyone else that's ever seen him was like, that guy's gonna fucking kill people. I never even met him. He just came on TV. I'm like, that's a killer. They all look the same. I don't think it's that the guns are too easily accessible to these guys. I think it's that the vaginas are not easily accessible to these guys. Now, I've lost you here, but I'm not blaming you women. I'm not like, hey, ladies, you need to get out there and fuck a school shooter. Like, we want to put an end to this. You need to do your civic duty. What I'm saying is we need to legalize prostitution. Thank you. No, I seriously think if we legalize prostitution, this will end. Every guy here knows the last thing you want to do after you bust a nut is kill somebody. You want to take a nap. You're like, ooh, I was just going to head down to that school and kill some kids. Woo, I'm tired. There's no way. And it's expensive. It's expensive. These kids, if they buy ammunition, AR-15s, Kevlar vests, they're not going to want to do that. They're going to want to save up their money to go down to the brothel and get a rim job and a reach around. Also known as the rusty trombone. I've lost a lot of you. I don't give a shit. I've got my theory holds true because Singapore had 0 shootings. Yeah, and Singapore has a place called the 4 Floors of Whores. 4 floors of whores. 4 floors. 4 floors of whores. There are 4 floors of whores in this place. 1st floor whores, 2nd floor whores, 3rd floor whores. Guess what's on the 4th floor? No, a gift shop. But whores work there. It really has 4 floors of whores. It's what it's called, the 4 floors. Every floor there are whores. IKEA only has 2 floors. And you get lost in IKEA. Can you imagine this? 4 floors of whores. I feel like Dr. Seuss right now. There are 4 floors of whores. If you go there, you'll get sore. But you'll say, more, more, more. I have a buddy of mine that went there, and he went, and it's a very legendary place, the 4 floors of whores. The 1st floor is supposedly straight, 2nd floor is gay, 3rd floor is transgender, and the 4th floor, I don't know where you go after transgender. I have no idea, but my friend knows. He did. He went. I go, what floor did you go to? He goes, 4th floor. I go, what'd you get? He goes, I'm not telling you. And I go, why not? He goes, because you're going to get on stage and you're going to tell everybody. And I was like, I would never do that. So my good friend Giovanni Mello went to the 4th floor. And I go, what'd you get? He goes, so I went, and he goes, you pay your money, and they have you strip naked, and then they give you Crocs to put on your feet. Yeah, rental Crocs, like rubber shoes. And you go in this room, and he goes, there's a circle. You get behind the circle, and you stand there just naked in your Crocs, and up above is a helicopter blade with prostitutes hanging upside down. And you're in a circle with a bunch of other nude guys in Crocs. Yeah, and they spin the prostitutes around, and they lower them down, and wherever they stop, they just suck the dick right in front of them. Yeah, it's like roulette. Wherever they stop, you're the big winner. And then they spin them again, and wherever they stop, they suck again. And I love this part of the story, because I get to look at your faces. Look how disturbed you all look. And you don't even know him. I've never been so disgusted in my life knowing my good friend Giovanni Mello wore Crocs. Rented Crocs. I love that that's the part you're upset about. You couldn't get over that. He's like, rented Crocs. I get the prostitute, the Croc. That's how I felt. I got you. No. So, I don't know. I'm trying to make good kids. I am. I don't know, though. The other day I was driving up my canyon, and there's never traffic in my canyon ever because we live out in the middle of Malibama. And all of a sudden there's traffic, and I'm like, what's all this traffic? And I was like, oh, no, is it another fire? What is it? And I'm like, what is this traffic? And we wait for like an hour, and my daughter's so mad. She's like, Dad, I got to get home. I got to see Paw Patrol. And I'm like, don't hit me. Don't hit me. And we come around the corner, and the traffic is because there were a bunch of guys who have parked their Lamborghinis on the side of the road. Yes. And they're standing in front of them, and they have a professional photographer taking photos of them in front of their Lamborghinis. Yeah, that's kind of what I sounded like. My daughter in the back seat goes, douchebags. And I try so hard to be a good father. So I turned around and high-fived her. And I was like, you just said that perfectly. That was in perfect context. They are douchebags. Yeah, we just had the fires. We had the fire last year that was really bad. I was like, oh my God, all my money's in this house. And then I realized my wife's a hoarder. So I was like, burn, baby, burn. I was like, I'm not going to have to clean out all this shit someday. This is the best thing that could ever happen. I literally was praying for the fire to hit my house, but it took like 5 days for the fire to get near my house. So my wife kept sending me back in to get her shit out. And then, she would have me put it in a storage facility, and then I had to figure out how to divert the fire to the storage facility. I went for a run with her dad recently. We went running. Her father, her big football player father, said to me, come on, we're going to go for a jog. We're a mile from home. He looks at me and goes, I have to shit. And I said, well, we're about a mile. We could pick up the pace. And he goes, no, now. And I'm so scared of him, I was like, And he's like, I need to shit now. So I start looking around the neighborhood for woods that he can shit in. And I turn this way and I look back and he's gone. And I'm like, where did he go? And then I see him walking up my neighbor's lawn to their house. And I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna knock on their door and tell them he's gonna take a shit in their house. And this is gonna be all over Nextdoor. Like, I'm so afraid. I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna be the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to me. No, there is something more embarrassing. Halfway up the lawn, he drops his shorts, squats down, and shits in their yard. You know when your dog shits in your neighbor's lawn and you're embarrassed? Imagine your father-in-law doing it. And here's the worst part of it. You know how your dog looks at you while they do it? You know why your dog looks at you? Because your dog's thinking, you're gonna pick this up. My father-in-law gave me that look. He just shit, didn't wipe, pulled up his shorts, ran home. I was just running like, did this just happen? I come in the house, white as a ghost. My wife senses something's wrong. She goes, what's wrong? I go, your dad just shit in the Buckman's lawn. And my wife, without missing a beat, goes, get a shovel. Like it's happened before. He's crazy, my wife's crazy, my daughter's crazy. My daughter, we were at the Buckman's house on 4th of July for a party, and all the kids are playing in the pool, I'm in the pool, everybody's in the pool, we're having a good time. My daughter gets out of the pool to jump off the diving board. She finds a loose rock, walks over to the pool. And I'm like, what's she doing? What are you doing? And I look at her, and I go, Izzy? And she lifts the rock above her head. And I go, Izzy, no. And she smiles. Then throws the rock in the pool, almost killing like 5 people. Luckily, no one died. But the reason I'm telling you this is because you're going to see me on TV someday. Not doing comedy. I'm going to be getting interviewed. And I'm going to be like, I had an idea. I saw the sign. I saw it. But I think all women are serial killers. I do. I think men usually do it, and men serial killers, they kill a few people, but like you, women, you're just planning a genocide. Like, you're just evil. I respect you, but I'm scared of you. Like this whole Me Too movement, I believe there's been a culture of sexual harassment and sexual assault, but this Me Too movement, there's more to it. First of all, it's bad branding. It's bad branding. It's a good idea. I mean, it should stop, but the branding, #MeToo, that's a bad idea. Because the men that sexually harass in the workplace are usually of older generations, and if you know anything about the hashtag sign, it used to be the pound sign. So I don't think pound me too is the best message to be giving these men. Here's my real problem though. It's an exclusive movement. It's not inclusive. It's all about women. Like, women are the only ones that can get sexually harassed or assaulted. I don't know if you've ever heard about the Catholic Church, but those weren't altar girls getting raped. And prison sex is not romantic. If we're all about equality, it should be about equality. But it shouldn't be identifying yourself as an individual. It should be everyone should be equal. Like I saw a bumper sticker the other day that said, "It's never okay to hit a woman." And at first I was like, yeah. And then I was like, no, that's fucked up. I should say it's never okay to hit anyone. I was so angry I wanted to just ram into the back of her. And be like, it is okay to hit a woman if you have that dumb bumper sticker on your car. But I know the argument is that men will sexually harass at the workplace and use their power because of the patriarch. They'll use their power in the workplace to sexually harass. And that is true. And I do understand that. But the tides are turning and women are getting more and more power, and you're going to do the same shit. And if you don't think you are, you've never been to a Chippendales show. Because I've seen you ladies there. You're savages. You're animals. I've been in show business 25 years. I've been sexually harassed by women in power. And I know you're looking at me like, not possible. I have. I have been sexually harassed by women in power. And you know what I did? I fucked them. I did. And I was good. It was good. They liked it. I liked it. It was... When I got into show business, my best friend goes, hey, would you fuck your way to the top? And I was like, I'd fuck my way to the bottom. Isn't that the object of this shit? Is this why I got into this? I wasn't getting it before. I've been doing it 25 years now. Oh my God, 25 years. And if you told me, like if I could go back in a time machine and you told me you can go back 25 years and knowing what you know now, like you know what you know, and you go back 25 years and somebody said to you, hey, you can star in this movie, Good Will Hunting. All you have to do is give this guy, Harvey Weinstein, a hand job. You can judge me all you want, but... I take that back. 25. Matt Damon right now is on his own island in the Caribbean. I'm in the middle of Pasadena somewhere. Knowing what I know now, I'd go back and blow Harvey Weinstein. But I get it. I understand. And women, this whole movement has been like, these men, they're out of control, and it's wrong. Sexual assault and it's wrong. But you have to understand that men love women. Like, everything we do it because of you. You are the reason we do anything. Like, if you weren't here right now, this place would smell. Everything we wouldn't get up. Men would just be lying in a pile of their own shit every day. just occasionally just flinging it at their friend like, fuck you. Ah, ah. That's why God made Eve. Because God made Adam, and then he looked down on the next day and he was like, oh, myself. What have I done? And Adam's like, yeah, fuck you. That's just a joke because there's no God. But it's true. We love you. Men love women. Women tolerate men. You do. It's true. We love you. You're like, I've done this joke a million times where I go, hey guys, if I had a button up here and you could come up and press it and it would just eliminate all the women in the world. They would just go away. They'd just gone. Kill them. Dead. Gone. Just be guys. We could just have football all the time. And every guy, look, you're looking at me like, what are you, a psychopath? Like, what's wrong with you? Why would you even think of that? Why would you consider that? We love women. They're our mothers, our daughters, our wives, our sisters. We love them. Oh my God, we don't know what we'd do without them. But conversely, I don't even need to finish this. Your giggles tell the truth right now. I had a woman last night go like this. Do you understand that? Like, you would kill us. Do you get? Guys, they would kill us. That shows you we've done something wrong. Over the last 200,000 years, we fucked up. We've done something that they would murder us. They would kill us. Maybe not all of them, some of them here. We're like, yeah, let's do it. And I'm not saying, like, I'm not one of these guys, I'm not preaching, I'm not up here, I'm not one of these male feminists that's like, we gotta stop this, we need to do better, men. What I'm saying is, we need to oppress them more. Because they're gonna fucking kill us. They've got a plan, and they're so much smarter than us. They are. Women are so much smarter than men. Like, you're gonna kill us. It's gonna be easy. You're just gonna run us off a cliff like a herd of retarded buffalo. It'll be so easy. They'll just put one woman at the bottom of the cliff just showing her tits, and we'll be like, ugh. And there'll just be a conveyor belt of men just one after another, just falling off into this heaping mass of carcass and bone while all the women high-five and titty bump and yell, all hail Oprah, queen of the genocide. Well, I thank you for coming out and supporting me and doing this. If I offended anyone tonight, I want you to know I don't give a shit. They're all just jokes. And if you take it personally, it's your problem. Because they're not about you. I don't think about you ever. And so, no, but you've been great. Thank you for coming out. We should do this again tomorrow. And you guys want to come back? You've been great. And thanks to my wife, who's actually here tonight, who had to go sit through all this shit. Yeah. Because I really do love her. I tell a lot of jokes about her. She fucks with me all the time, too. My wife is evil. She really is. Like, last summer, I got a thing called Bell's palsy. You know what that is? It's a temporary paralysis of half your face. Yeah, I woke up in the morning next to her in bed, and half my face was frozen. It was like... And I look at her, and she goes, what the fuck is wrong with your face? And I go, you don't look so good in the morning either. And she goes, no, go look in the mirror. And I was like, yeah. I couldn't close my eye. One eye would shut, so when I would try to blink, I would wink. She's like, are you okay? And I'm like, no. She's like, so you're okay? And I'm like, no. She's like, I think we need to go to the hospital right now. So my wife rushes me to the hospital, and you know, it's LA. Even if you have a gunshot wound, they're like, go wait in the waiting room. I come walking in and they're like, come with us now. And I was like, what's going on? They're like, we think you're having a stroke. And I was like, I'm too young to have a stroke. And the doctor's like, apparently not. So they start hooking me up. They put every wire on me. They're putting EKGs and CAT scans, and my wife's joining Tinder. And they run all these tests on me. And then they make me go sit in the waiting room with her while we wait for the results. And I put her on my good side, and I'm like, it's gonna be okay. And she's swiping left. And the doctor finally comes out and he goes, I have great news. I have great news. He goes, you're not having a stroke. You just have Bell's palsy. And I go, just? And he goes, don't worry, it's only temporary. And I go, how temporary? I swear to God, he goes, eh. That's how you describe a salad bar. Not my frozen half a fucking face. Eh. And I go, what is it? He goes, oh, it's just half your face is temporary paralyzed. And I go, oh. And I was like, okay. And I go, what caused this? And the guy looks at me and he goes, it's caused by a herpetic virus. And my wife was like good with that, and she was ready to go. And I'm not that astute. And I look at him and I go, herpetic? And he looks at me like, you're out of here, dude, go. And I go, herpetic? And he's like, oh, herpes. And I went, yeah. That was the noise I made. My wife's was a little different. My wife was like, what the fuck did you just say? Did you say he has herpes, which means he probably gave me herpes? She's like, you have herpes, you fuck. And she tried to murder me in an emergency room. If you're gonna get murdered, it's the best place for it to happen. Literally, she's screaming at me that the whole emergency room shut down. Like it was like a Maury Povich show where everyone's like, oh, like there was a guy resuscitating a patient that was like, I gotta see this shit. She's screaming, the doctor has to stop. He's like, stop, leave him alone, leave him alone. He goes, it's not the bad herpes. It's not the bad herpes. He goes, it's not sexually transmitted. It's not contagious. It's caused by stress. And I'm like, yeah, stress. And the doctor goes, it's not the bad herpes. And all of a sudden it dawns on me. I'm like, not the bad herpes. I got drool coming out of my mouth. My eyes burning because it won't shut. I look like fucking Quasimodo. I think I'd rather have a couple blisters on my cock right now. My wife is now enjoying it. She goes, come on, stroke face, let's go. Thanks a lot, you guys. You've been unbelievable. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ice House. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, guys. I love you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.